Hello and welcome to the IAMT podcast series. My name is Saleha Williams. I'm the CEO of IAMT and your host for today. So, in the studio today, I am delighted to have as my special guest Stephanie Sanchez, who is the Chief Strategy Officer at Grass Valley. Stephanie, welcome.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
It's wonderful to have you here. I mean, it's been such a crazy time here in Las Vegas, but we really appreciate you taking the time out to come and talk to us today. So, of course, many of our members and our audience will know Grass Valley. You've been around for an incredibly long time. In fact, an iconic brand in the media and entertainment world. But the industry is changing. Things are shifting, and we've just gone through a big rebrand from IABM to IAMT. I would love to explore more where Grass Valley is thinking at the moment in terms of disruption and enablement across the media and entertainment ecosystem.
Yeah, of course. Well, first of all, 68 years, right? Grass Valley. It's a brand name in the industry. And as we discussed before we meet today, your change into media technology and our view of the evolution of the market is quite similar, right? We see the broadcast industry is our main focus, but we see also an emerging market. It's not merging, right, with the broadcast industry, but it is converging, um, not converging. It is have converging needs.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So this is why we call them parallel market.
Yes.
That's the visual I was trying to get to.
No, absolutely. And I mean, things are evolving at an amazing speed. And there's a lot of complexity in what has been traditional broadcast workflows. And really, one of the things I love about Grass Valley is your focus on the democratization of high quality content that is beyond just the broadcast sector. So tell us a little bit more about that.
So we have one of the broader portfolio, okay? And so it is amazing. It helps us bring the best and to be able to cater from lens to lens, right? For the broadcast industry. But we can also, from there, move to decomplexify these workflow and cater to different needs.
Yeah.
And the enterprise media wants the same quality. It's just they don't have in-house operator with broadcast experience.
Yes.
So we need to find a way to take what we have as a portfolio, pre-configure, decomplexify, define the right workflow that match the needs for enterprise media. And it's not a one size fit all.
Yeah.
Because enterprise media, you know as well as I do, it's house of worship, it is corporation, it is sporting events, venue, etc. So it is a wide area of need that we need to be able to cater through different simplified workflow solutions.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, we're seeing through the State of Media Tech report from IAMT here that we've launched at an AB show, nearly 50% of new revenue is coming from those parallel markets. But of course, what comes with that is a very different buying decision-making process, as well as the technical procurement process to that. How are you managing that?
So I think so. They have it. So it's not the same approach in terms of sell approach or go to market strategy.
Yeah.
But in the end, they have very similar need. It's just we really need to understand who's your audience, who you're speaking to. So when we speak to broadcast industry expert, you can go dive into the details, talk about all the complexity of our system.
Yeah.
If you go to corporate, okay, you need to understand what are the scenario you want to do. And so Grass Valley actually, and sorry, I wanted to make a different point as well. So if you go to enterprise media, they might not have the same needs as the broadcast industry. Yes, they expect high quality content, but they're not broadcasting all the time.
Yes.
Right? So they don't want to pay for a system all the time.
Yeah.
And, with the AMP solution, with the cloud solution, cloud enablement, with the entire AMP portfolio that we have, you don't need to pay when you don't use.
Yes.
Which is a clear defining factor for Grass Valley and helps us to be more intended into the enterprise media industry.
Yeah.
Because if we look at Grass Valley past few years, it's not that we're not making business, having business in the enterprise media industry. It's more of an organic result.
Yeah.
We want to be more intentional towards reaching that market and their need.
Yes, absolutely. And I think it's, as you say, looking at the simplification of that, because these other parallel markets and organizations, they still want, we have clients and members that have said, they're working with a bank, and the bank CEO will say, make me look like I'm on CNN. I want the quality, the sound of that. But often, they don't have huge teams of people, engineers, operators. They want to do this in a very simple setup, often sometimes remotely managed as well.
Yeah, and we can do that, and it's normal. They shouldn't have to pay for an entire specialized operating forces. In the long run, why isn't it an IT team that takes the leadership of that if we have the right simplification? And we've talked about the workflow. Even the broadcast industry is talking now about decomplexifying the workflow that we spend years into evolving, right?
Absolutely. And that's exactly why we have relaunched as the International Association of Media Tech, as opposed to the International Association of Broadcast Manufacturing, which worked when you were putting together very specific proprietary broadcast centers that, as you say, had different needs. They were broadcasting all of the time, but there isn't the budgets for those. There isn't the need for those. And it's the ability, I think, to be able to simplify that and provide that in a way that works to these other markets at a price point that works. But also, tell me about the multi-vendor opportunity. So Grass works with a whole range of partners and startup companies, all the way through from tiny to big. So again, you're bringing the best of everything.
We believe so, and thanks for asking. But so it all come down to our software defined shift.
Yes.
It happened a couple of years ago, and quite frankly, I think that it is the main reason why we're unblocking and reaching the enterprise media market. So the AMP OS, is our main software-defined product and platform, and we manage all the difficult integration between applications that are from Grass Valley, but also from our alliance partner, which are small startup to big companies. So even to cater for corporate markets, for instance, which is part of the enterprise media market, we have an integration with Zoom.
Yes.
How perfect is that, right? If we look at a venue or sporting event, we have Daxtronic, which is like brilliant integration. You can actually send the graphic to the board, right? And by using a Grass Valley product with that integration, so it's seamless. It's a great enabler to that market for us.
Absolutely.
And we cannot do it all. It's not the intention. Grass Valley and DM product intention is to be an open ecosystem, right? To manage the complexity of the integration for you, but we have our core competency. So we cannot be specialized in all the different apps. We recognize that we have a tremendous, array of vendor that can provide you with those needs. So why not go with them on the AMP platform and have a simple solution that cater to your specific needs?
Absolutely. We saw three key themes that came out of the IAMT State of Media Tech report just published this weekend. And the three themes overwhelmingly that both vendors and buyers were seeing in the market, or we brought as a set of themes that were being seen in the market, was trust, agility, and evaluation. And I think, with Grass, you have that trust. You've been around for a long time, but you still innovated and you are able to provide that simplification where needed. But at the same time, very agile in doing that. When you're looking at, complex systems with multi vendors, you can bring those together and enable a solution that works to the market that you're talking to, that isn't necessarily the traditional broadcast market of 10 years ago. And, even more importantly is, of course, that evaluation, the ROI, as you say. Don't overpay. You can pay for what you need, but still get the quality and still get that really high level of broadcast standard, but at a price point and an operational integration level that works for, as you say, a corporate that doesn't have a whole team of engineers there to set this up on a day-to-day basis. So
100%. Yeah.
excellent. Well, Stephanie, it's been an absolute pleasure. I do truly believe that IAMT and Grass Valley are leading that media revolution.
Yeah.
It is a wonderful to have Grass Valley as one of our platinum sponsors. So we appreciate your support for the industry, for IAMT. And thank you for giving us your time today.
Well, thank you for the invitation. Truly appreciate it. It's been great to be sitting with you on the podcast.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you.